Hello there, this is Coach Troy with Tate Fitness, and today I want to talk about turkesterone. Now, what is turkesterone? Well, it's an ecdysteroid, and it's the plant and insect equivalent to hormones such as testosterone is in humans. It's a phytoecdysteroid, and we produce testosterone as humans, while insects and plants produce the turkesterone, or that particular ecdysteroid. Now, some of the history of turkesterone. It was first discovered in 1975 by Russian scientists. They found that it stimulated liver protein synthesis, which, however, is not the same thing as muscle protein synthesis. The very first published study, I should say, regarding turkesterone was actually in 1978. But there was no elaborate foundings as far as what it actually does in humans, as far as human consumption goes. They never subsequented any important results. It wasn't until 2006 where they actually found some practical application uses for humans as far as clinical trials go for any kind of hypertrophy. Now we'll go on to the chemical structure of turkesterone. Turkesterone and testosterone are actually very similar as far as the chemical structure goes. But turkesterone, or I should say the ecdysteroid chemical structure, is a little more lengthy. There's more constituents as far as the chemical structure goes, and it's longer. And there's a lot more, I should say it's heavier and denser in that sense. It's more complex, larger, and higher in molecular weight than the testosterone molecule. It's not as easily attached to acid or alcohol as far as it being esterified. Also way more lipophilic, meaning it dissolves in oil a little easier, and it dissolves a little too easy, therefore it's harder to attach to an ester or make it esterified, kind of like similar to testosterone enanthate or testosterone cypionate, how they have that long cleaving of esters to fortify it for a 5 to 7 day half-life. Well, the turkesterone molecule is a little lengthy, let's just say, and heavier. So it being more lipophilic, it's harder to esterify in that sense, to where it's easier to attach the estrogen receptor rather than the androgen receptor. Therefore, they potentiate all their anabolic effects through estrogen beta receptors. It shows promises in working on endogenously on the beta estrogen pathway, not the androgen beta pathway or androgen receptor pathway. And with those estrogen pathways being entailed or being ignited and utilized through that vector, I should say with the turkesterone, it's held promises of holding on to some muscle tissue on a post-cycle treatment when coming off, other endogenous androgens and anabolics. 200 milligrams of turkesterone a day has been proven to be very similar to 2.5 to 5 milligrams of Anavar a day, along as 7-keto DHEA and growth hormone, endogenously speaking, are simultaneously used together in conjunction with. Now remember, GH is part of the family of a long chain 191 amino acids and a large family of growth factors such as prolactins, placentolactogens, proliferins, and somatolactins. And along with GH being 191 amino acid, single chain polypeptide that is secreted and stored and synthesized by somatotrophic cells within the lateral wings of the anterior pituitary gland. Now, what is 7-keto DHEA? 7-keto DHEA is a byproduct of dehydroepiandrosterone, which is DHEA. DHEA is a parent hormone produced and secreted by the gland near the kidneys. But unlike DHEA, 7-keto DHEA is not converted to steroid hormones such as androgen or estrogen. Is it a good starting PED for beginners, for lifters? Well, honestly, from the clinical studies that they did in 2006 and thereforth, it was basically a false positive on many of the results because of the fact they had genetic gifted elite athletes that have never worked out before, they've never trained, never followed a diet. So honestly, any program that they would start, regardless of the turkesterone being involved as a PED or not, they would have made efficient gains and muscle progress through muscle hypertrophy just from a normal training program. So, because they did blood work and they tested all these test subjects, the ones with the placebo and the ones that used the turkesterone, and nothing came out as far as anything significant or insignificant as far as blood plasma levels go, or higher increases in total serum concentrations of testosterone or free testosterone, suppression of sex hormone binding globin, etc. Not even lipid panels or their liver enzymes were elevated. So no deleterious attributes towards blood plasma levels as far as their panels go, but nothing positive in the note of higher nitrogen balance, higher testosterone levels, etc. But yet these test subjects basically surpassed all the placebo test subjects and put on more muscle per pound of body weight with this clinical study. So it goes to show, though, some of these guys, or most of these guys in the clinical studies that actually attributed and actually put on muscle, were all genetically elite athletes in that group, or the couple test subjects that they actually found to be. So in conclusion, it was a false positive test. There's a few of those. So it doesn't really show efficacy of the turkesterone being the actual candidate of attributing factors of why these candidates actually put on that muscle to begin with. Possibly best used only on a PCT. Now, a lot of studies have shown that after a post-cycle treatment and taking a PED cycle, which would be an androgen or anabolic, like with the testosterone base and some DHT derivatives and maybe some ancillary components like Arimidex or Anavar or whatever. There's some studies proven to show that after a PCT, the turkesterone has actually helped with stabilizing some anabolism as far as keeping muscle progress going from the cycle that some of the test subjects have done. So needless to say, it shows promise in that attribute, only though when combined with maybe 7-keto DHEA and growth hormone, as far as anabolics also go, that don't downregulate the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis and don't contribute in dropping down luteinizing hormone or follicle stimulating hormone. So there's no interruption in GnRH or gonadotropin releasing hormones to vindicate secretion of lower serum concentration levels in that attribute. So it's probably known to say that along with the PCT, it's probably one of the best true anabolics that actually have zero or hardly no side effects. But like I said, only after a post-cycle treatment as far as some of the vindications go. So as blood work goes, post-turkesterone treatment with this clinical study, like I said, after a PCT goes, there were no changes in liver enzymes, no changes in red blood cell count, so no increases for EPO or erythropoietin levels of hematocrit or hemoglobin. So all that stayed stable. And again, mentioning that had no offset or suppression of the HPTA or HPTO axis. So the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis showed no signs of ASIH, anabolic steroid induced hypogonadism, because due to this could be slightly called an anabolic, even though it doesn't show major anabolic properties from those clinical studies that I've shown. So anyways, if you want to know a little bit more about turkesterone or some of these alternative PEDs, I should say, or healthier versions of PEDs, please contact me at the email below. Leave comments in the comment section. Please elaborate and let me know what your thoughts are on this video. Follow me on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching and take care. Bye-bye.